Hey, Matt Daniel here, and you right now today have access to a power that will help move your business forward, your life, and your relationships, and everything you're trying to achieve. However, chances are you're probably not using it. Now, allow me to illustrate with a story. I went to an event a few weeks ago, and there were two different people I met who had two totally different experiences at this event. Now, the first one was a friend of mine that I haven't seen in a couple of years. He has a successful Amazon business, and I met him about 2 o'clock on the first day of the event, and he was already negative on this event. The content wasn't good enough. It wasn't new. It wasn't, going to help him change his business. And it was basically a waste of time for him to be here. That was his outlook. That was his experience. I saw him on day number 2. It got even worse. And day number 3, the same thing. He was starting to complain about his hotel and everything about this entire trip that he was on. And so contrast that with the second guy that I met at the event. And he is the marketing arm of this $40 million company that sells on Amazon. Now, everybody at this event would love to have been in his shoes. None of us would turn down operating a $40 million company. It's what we want. If anybody could have an outlook like the first guy, it was him. He could go there and be like, this is a total waste of my time. I could be teaching this stuff, right? But he had a different philosophy. He was humble. So he went there thinking and expecting that he was going to get some marketing and operational gold, out of whatever they were teaching, that he could use and take what he's doing in his business and take it to the next level. All right. He wasn't proud that, hey, I like all this stuff I already know and I've heard this before, and none of that. None of that at all. He had meetings with the team. He was sending emails back and forth with the team every single day. And at night they had meetings about what they were going to do with the information he got, like how they were going to change their operations, how they were going to change their SOPs, how they were going to start adding this part to their launches. Lots of different things that he got out of this event. This is an incredible outcome. This was an incredible lesson for him. And I'm sitting there listening to him after hearing from my friend about how awful this event was. And this guy was actually getting actionable content that he was going to use. It's really going to help him, take his business, and sharpen things and just add, maybe, who knows how much it's going to add. But it's going to help make his business better, because his decision before he came to that event was that it was going to be that way. Like, he decided in advance the results he was going to get. And so that's the power that I want to talk to you about, is you decide what your results are going to be. It's not like The Secret and the law of attraction, something woo-woo and mystical, and you kind of name it and claim it and you envision it and it just appears. No. There's a place for that. And that's the start. But don't expect things to fall out of the sky. You have to take action to get what you want, but you're never going to take action until you make this decision. Okay? The decision you need to make is, what outcome do you expect? Whatever you expect, it's almost as if you would start to attract it in a way. That's the law of attraction. But also, more importantly, you take action to that. If you believe that the actions you take will lead to a positive outcome, it's going to be amazing for you, you're going to do it. If you believe and you expect, rather, that whatever challenges you face, when you come up against, you're going to find the answers, you're going to keep going, and you're not going to let anything keep you down and stop you, because you expect differently. And so a lot of us, we quit expecting great things. We quit expecting, I don't want to say magical, but we quit expecting positive things that are not outside of our current experience, because life happens. All right, as an entrepreneur, especially, you know what that means, because at least 8 out of 10 things don't happen the way you expect, and the way you don't, and you get things you don't want. That's just life. That's business. You have to overcome challenges and obstacles. But if you expect to still reach your goal, and you expect that no matter whatever happens to you, it's going to turn out for your good, you can make some different decisions. And so what really opened my eyes to this, though, is I went to this event, and for the first time, I don't know why I ever did this, I expected that networking and meeting new people, meeting power sellers and influencers on Amazon would be easy. I go to events all the time. When I go to events, every time I have great experience with people. I meet people I've never met or never heard of before, and we hit it off and we develop relationships. This is part of going to an event. But it was never this easy. But I've never expected it to be easy, and I've never prayed for it. So on the way there, I was literally praying that it would be the easiest it's ever been. Guess what? That changed my outlook. It changed my expectation. Maybe it even changed how I acted, how I carried myself, how I engaged conversation, how I boldly went to people that I don't even know. And night number 1, I get to have dinner with speakers at this event. Night number 2, the same thing. Night number 3, the same thing. I met a lot of people that are influential and that are power sellers that have a lot of good information, a lot of good connections, and I was able to meet them and develop relationships with them. And guess what? Most of them, I didn't even know who they were when I started talking to. I'm not trying to say like, oh, you could expect great things and oh, it's always going to happen. That really opened my eyes to this. And when I really thought about what happened to my friend, the first guy who had a very bad experience and the second person I met, really started to get me thinking about, what do we expect? Like, what am I expecting in my business? And here's how I think this applies to you and me. When we buy a course or a coaching package or go to a live event or a mastermind, a lot of us think that, the value we get is going to kind of be spoon-fed to us in a way, and that's not the case. We decide the value we get in advance, and we decide the meaning behind the things that we do. If we think that doing, for instance, social media is not going to matter, or it's too hard, or no one's going to care, or people are going to think you're weird, or whatever it is, if we think that this marketing plan is garbage and it's not going to produce any results, and why do it? I mean, if we think stuff like this, we're never going to step out and do the actions that it takes to move our business forward and to move our life forward. If we think this relationship is going nowhere, it'll never get any better, because this person's always been this way and they're always going to be that way. Hey, what you expect will happen. I love this quote by Henry Ford: whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Why is that true? It is. Whatever we expect happens. And so I want you to think about this. Just here's how you can just bring this down to the applicable level for you right now. There's things that you need to do. At least at one point you knew you need to do them in your business, but you didn't do it. Whatever reason you didn't. You believed whatever you believed, and you didn't take action on it. Think about the results that you're experiencing in your business or your life or your relationships where they're less than stellar, where you would like them to improve. And think about what you really believe about what you should do. A lot of times we know the answer that we should take, but we talk ourselves out of it because we just have this bad expectation. We have an expectation it's not going to work out or whatever, for whatever reason. And so I want you to challenge that right now. Think about what you're lacking right now and what it is that you're not doing, because chances are you already know what it is, but you haven't done it because you got some head trash. You got some expectations that are misaligned. And it's as simple as making a decision. It's really that simple. Make a decision. You will expect. I choose this outcome. I choose to believe this will happen. I choose to expect this to happen. And that'll change your attitude. That'll change your actions. That'll change your outcome. All right. Hey, that's the philosophical thought for the day that I was thinking about. So, hey, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you like this, and I'll make more of these. All right. Take care.